People of Earth,
Oh.
welcome to our stream. We are here to entertain you.
Logan, you should look at our screen because there's something really wrong.
What the fuck?
I don't know how this happened, but everyone's zoomed in on a random part of their face. And all of the names are wrong.
Nope, not that one either.
No.
There we go. That one works.
That's the right
might
one.
not have been done on
Here we
purpose.
go.
What the hell?
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Nerdsmith. Hope you were here for all the excitement just a second ago, because that was awesome. Someone's going to clip that.
The GIF is supposed to be there.
Yeah, that actually we want to be there. And actually the other stuff we did too. That was the whole point. Hey, thank you for ooh, that is not the right. Well, that's fine. We'll take it. He's not supposed to be there though. Where are you supposed to be, little guy? You're supposed to be down here.
Who?
There was nothing.
There's a little money penguin when
it popped up.
when
So thank you, whoever did whatever.
That was me. That was me sharing that I had subscribed because it's going to be a full week before I make music happen by doing that. At least
that's true. Yeah. So anyway, thank you guys all for being here. We are doing our Monster of the Week campaign tonight because our wonderful player Michael cannot be here. He is working. And we will have probably several of these before the end of the year because he's just unfortunately stuck working a lot. But in the new year, he will be here more and we'll be doing more awesome, wonderful things. And yes, this whole thing is all messed up and I kind of like it. It's neat. Anyway, we are going to be playing Tessa's Monster of the Week game, which is called
A Taste of Paradise.
A Taste of Paradise. And this is Blast from the Past, which I am not excited about at all. It sounds scary. It is kind of a darker, but also we keep it light, monster hunting sort of game. We do have a little bit of fun here and there. It's not quite as comedic as Shenanigans, but I think you'll enjoy it just the same. So we'd like to start off by saying thank you to our sponsors. The first sponsor we'd like to talk about is World Anvil. World Anvil is the most robust world building and campaign management software that exists on the internet today. It's also an award-winning software.
Yes.
You can go take a look at worldanvil.com and you can sign up for free to check it out, play around with almost all of its features, and then when you're ready to take the next step, fully flesh out your world and customize it and make it colorful and beautiful and pretty, even upload your own graphics and things for the little icons on the maps. Really cool stuff. You can upgrade at that point. So go take a look at worldanvil.com and light up the forge. Next, we talk about that's not helpful when things pop up like that. Next, sorry. We talk about Die Hard Dice. Die Hard Dice is an amazing dice company that you can find at dieharddice.com. They are very generous to us, and they are very generous to their customers. So you can go take a look over there at Die Hard Dice, see all the amazing metal and plastic dice and all the metal dice they design themselves. It's their 3D modeling that creates it. They send it off to be manufactured, but it is their designs, and that's unique amongst a lot of companies out there. Most of them don't make their own designs up. So you'll never find anything quite like this anywhere else. They also do all of their own color testing in-house. I've seen them do it. It's incredible to watch. So go take a look at Die Hard Dice. You can use the coupon code GOONIES, GOONIES, for 15% off your first or next order. So if you want to roll with the best, go to dieharddice.com. Last, we'd like to thank our sponsor and network, Nerdsmith. Nerdsmith.org is a place you can find all the amazing entertainment that's over there on, like this, like Shenanigans, and like Plot Hunters, and like Shenanigans, and
like Plot Hunters?
Plot Hunters, and Shenanigans. There's actually a lot more over
Plot
there,
Hunters.
but my brain's just not working right now. So go take a look at all the amazing entertainment over there.
Shattered Forge.
Yeah, all those. Shattered Forge is a fun one. And we also, another big event, we've got Shattered Forge actually just launched last week. If you want to get start with a brand new show, a world hopping show, easy to keep up with, short 2.5 hour sessions or so, and with an all-star international cast from America to Australia, stopping on Britain there. We have just this incredible cast.
And about to have some really killer art.
And about to have some really killer art, is all just coming down. You want to check out Shattered Forge every Friday at noon Pacific time. It's a good one to catch either live while you can or on VOD. It'll be a lot of fun. And Jason is our DM over there, and the players are just incredible. So go take a look at that. They're just about to start their first world, which is great. All of the worlds come from World Anvil. The show is sponsored by World Anvil. We should probably say that at that point. And then the other show I want to talk about is not a long-term show. It's a short-term show. It's only 12 episodes long. It is the 9 Hells of a Good Time. It is our celebration, Nerdsmith celebration of Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus, their newest module that they just released. We're not running the module, so you don't have to worry about being spoilered. It will be 12 one-shots celebrating the world and celebrating the NPCs and the flavor of the setting, I guess, not the world. And you can come and along with that. And that starts on September 30th at 7 p.m. PST. Yes.
So this is going to sound like a smart-ass comment.
Everything you say sounds like a smart-ass comment.
Is being spoilered, is that when they put, like, racing fins on you? Yes. It feels very appropriate for the module, so it wasn't, like, a fully smart-ass comment.
I mean, it was pretty smart-ass,
partially smart-ass.
Okay. I would have expected that from Kyle. Not from you. You're better than that.
No.
Stop spending so much time with Kyle.
I'm a spoilered brat, what can I say?
All right, fine. You can have that one.
Yay!
Damn it! Damn it!
I had nothing to follow up on that with. So
damn it! You fucking got me. All right. Anyway, not that it's hard to make me laugh, but that was actually pretty good. So we are just waiting for Tessa to not be everything hurty and dying. So once she is feeling a little better. It looks like she might be. We're going to go ahead and get started here. Anyway, so the 12 Descent into Avernus games will be every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. Mondays and Thursdays, 7 p.m. Pacific, and Saturdays, noon Pacific. And it will be from the September 30th, every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday for 4 weeks, ending on the 26th. We have 12 different DMs, 48 different players. And each one is going to be individual. You can absolutely sit down and enjoy any one of the episodes by itself, but also if you happen to be the person who wants to watch all of them, you'll catch a lot of little Easter eggs that kind of connect them, and it's kind of this overarching story overall. Sort of like that episode of How I Met Your Mother, where the couple meets, dates, married, engaged, and dies all through the background of the one episode. I like that. That's actually the how I presented that to the writers.
It's like the banana peel in Billy Madison.
Never seen Billy Madison.
Or the pregnancy and birth in the background of Community.
Never seen Community.
Russ just made me really happy, by the way.
Russell's here?
Yes. He called me a real drag right after I made my racing joke.
It's very good.
It's pretty good. Very good. Anyway.
Heather, my darling, would you like to recap the last episode of our show?
Okay. Let me just go back up to the top of the notes to remember where we started. So last week we started off still at Alcatraz. Ingrid had arrived after getting back to San Francisco and found Raleigh being treated by the EMTs for his stingray stabbing when he was punctured by the barb. And she noticed that there was some black veining traveling out from the wound and that it wasn't a normal wound. So she was able to neutralize the poison with magic after getting the EMTs to kind of go away. Meeks transported himself and Tabitha to Raleigh, so we all ended up back together. Mars had gone to get Ingrid and then stayed with the boat. We talked about what was going on, and this older man with a scraggly beard popped up out of nowhere saying that he could also hear the spirits, like Tabitha, and that he had seen the diver go into the water and come out of the water as if he was thrown out by something. And that he saw a 12-foot tall man with ice blue eyes and skin, looking like something out of mythology, like an old Norse frost giant, but also possibly like a zombie. And at this point, Raleigh recognized it from video games as being a Draugr. He told us where he had seen the body thrown, and as we were headed over there, we heard shots fired in one of the buildings and ran over to investigate. We found everybody dead. It looked like somebody possibly had shot everyone else and then himself. And there was mist starting to dissipate, but Tabitha saw blue mist starting to trail out, and we tried to follow it. Meeks and Raleigh suddenly disappeared and ended up back in the prison because Meeks got the feeling that that's just where they needed to be. And they ended up discovering the blue-skinned gentleman who threw Meeks against a wall, or tried to, and picked up Raleigh and bit him. Lots of fighting. Eventually, Meeks got the big giant guy to calm down after Tabitha and Ingrid had also arrived, and found out that he is in fact a Draugr, and he was mad because someone had disturbed his resting spot and taken things from his ship, and that he had tried to find it, but there was a room he couldn't get into because it was airtight in one of the buildings we hadn't checked yet. So we went with him to look into it. Well, actually, first he went and decided if he was going to talk to us more. Meanwhile, we looked at the shiny thing that Raleigh kept seeing in the water, and it's actually part of a speedboat that says Atlantex again, and it looks like it had been ripped open. So it all keeps tying back to Atlantex. The Draugr showed back up. His name was Sydney. Told us that his gold was missing from his boat specifically, and he wanted it back. We figured out that he was Sydney Ducks from the prison video we'd been watching, the history of the island. And so basically he was a pirate leader, not a good person. And we went to the guardhouse to look for everything. When we opened up the safe, or the vault, we found 3 people in black suits who threw a fireball at us and blasted the Draugr and pissed him off. So then Meeks trapped himself in the vault with the 3 people to get answers, while Ingrid, Raleigh, and Tabitha faced off against Sydney, the now very, very angry Draugr, outside. Long story short, we won. And the 3 people coming out of the vault, we found out their names were Johnny, Cash, and Bill. They said they were there to stop the Draugr, and Meeks doesn't trust them. None of us do. Something's definitely weird.
Cash? I missed that.
Jeez, yeah. And we're out of prison.
Yeah.
It's bad. Well, Meeks wouldn't have gotten it.
Yeah. As the 3 men were starting to leave, or trying to leave, Meeks sort of used his transportation thing to poof over next to them and put his bat through Johnny's head, who'd been acting as the leader. His full name was Jonathan Xavier. And after that, we basically questioned the other 2 guys who said they just worked for Johnny. They didn't know who he had been hired by, all this kind of thing. Tabitha also threatened them and said that if they were lying to us, they would end up like the Draugr and Johnny. We went into the vault and started looking around, and every single crate inside there was labeled Atlantex. There was lots of different things. There was weapons, drugs, cash, the gold coins that had been Sydney's were in there. There were lots and lots and lots of pills, including the Paradise pills, but also prescription drugs and illegal drugs as well. So we took some of the money and decided to incinerate the rest of the drugs because there's, gasoline for the boats and stuff here. So we basically lit the thing up to destroy the rest of it. We also searched Johnny's wallet and found an ID and a business card. His business card literally just said his name, Jonathan Xavier, and then there was a phone number. We also find a tattoo on his back that's definitely an arcane mark of some kind. And Ingrid recognizes it as the same sort of watermark type symbol that's behind the Atlantics logo. So somehow he's related to Atlantics. And we took Xavier's boat that was literally named Xavier, and we left the island. And we took, in case it needs to be noted, there was probably $2 million in cash, and we took about $200K. And the rest we burned.
Which I have a question about something that Ingrid would like to try to do with that money, but you can of course start the game however you wish, and I'll just
Let's go ahead and settle that question, and then I will go ahead and jump into this mystery.
Well, it's kind of role play.
Okay.
It involves a phone call, so we can do it during game. That's fine.
Let's go ahead and actually get it out of the way because I have a very specific way I want to go ahead and start the mystery this time. So we'll go ahead and do that.
Ingrid was gonna try to see if she could call Sigrun and ask for a favor.
Okay. Alrighty. So you call Sigrun's phone number and she answers. Hello.
Sigrun, it is Ingrid. I have a question. A request, actually, a favor.
Of course. What is it?
So we have recently found ourselves with a bit of a boon from Alcatraz. Quite a bit of money. We assume it is not a big deal if it was of Atlantic's make, or not make, but it was Atlantic's ill-gotten gains.
Oh no, it is no bother to me if you decide to keep it.
That's sure, thank you. More to the point, I wanted to make sure that it was being used appropriately and not. I want to take advantage of what we have. So, I fear that Atlantics might be able to track wherever their money might go, especially if it is to say be put into a bank or investment. And I wish to know if you have anyone I could contact about perhaps cleaning the money a bit.
Oh, of course. I believe Ninian. It would be a good contact for that.
I will drop your name then, perhaps.
Well, you don't need to drop my name. She is the organizer of our order.
Right. Just wanted to do things by the book. Thank you, Sigrun. I appreciate the help.
It's my pleasure. I am sure that Ninian would be very interested to hear of your adventures as well.
Yes. That was all I had to say. Thank you very much for your help, and have a good day then.
You as well. Be safe.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Oh, how is Tabitha?
She is coping, I think.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear it. Let me know if you have any other questions. I will be here.
I will. Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Click.
Right.
So you said Ninian?
Ninian. Yes.
Okay, I'll make a note.
We're gonna pick up probably 2 to 3 days later. Ingrid, you made your phone call. It's been a quiet couple of days. It's evening. Tabitha. It is quiet in the flat. Save for the ticking of the cat clock on the wall, its eyes and tail rhythmically moving with each passing second. The clock, of course, was a gift from Raleigh, a peace offering, if you will. And though it had been a little silly, you still hung it up in your room, and without fail, the goofy clock brings a smile to you upon waking every day. Much like the person who gifted it to you.
Kyle, your face is great.
I think so too.
Normally, sleep is a much needed reprieve from your day, but tonight, your dreams are restless. You can hear a familiar voice calling to you, and no matter how hard you try, you just can't quite place it. This voice is sweet, feminine, and laced with honeyed tones as it calls to you. In your dream, you search for the source of the voice, winding your way through the city streets. Neon lights lazily blink on and off, proclaiming stores to be open, and invitingly, each door opens as you pass. However, the interiors remain dark. As you walk on, the landscape of the city begins to twist and warp. Huge, craggy boulders begin to shoot up from the ground, narrowly avoiding you. Fire begins to spew from fissures in the earth as hot air buffets your face. And you turn your face towards the voice once more, but find yourself enveloped by a massive shadow. A gargantuan tidal wave is looming menacingly overhead, threatening the city, and you open your mouth to yell, to scream, to do anything, but you are stuck, rooted to the spot where you stand. As you stand there, frozen in terror, you could hear the faint sound of a carnival calliope. Its music is nearly drowned out by the roar of the ocean waves and raging flames around you. You can hear the woman's voice call you once more as the sound of the organ music at carnival games gets louder and louder, and your head and ears are ringing with the deafening volume of the din, while elements close in around you. Tabitha, you are afraid that you are going to be consumed by all of this. And then there's a flash of silver. A sickle cuts through the scene, parting the two halves of this reality. And it is blessedly, eerily quiet. For several long heartbeats, you strain to hear anything, but just silence. Then the voice once more on the breathe. Come to me, Tabitha. I have so much to share with you. There is another flash of silver, and you see a woman with long dark hair, warm eyes, and on her shirt a small brooch, a sickle crossed with an arrow. And as you zero in, you focus on the brooch on her shirt. It takes you by surprise as the background opens up once more as a giant gaping maw swallows you and the woman whole. And you wake. It is still dark. What do you do?
I feel like I would wake up screaming. Probably
You probably do.
from all of that. So probably just sitting up in bed, turns on a light just to make it not dark like everything that just happened, and is immediately grabs whatever the nearest piece of paper she can find is and starts writing down everything she can remember from what just happened. Because she's been doing this long enough that when you have a dream like that, you don't not write shit down.
Can I have heard this and react to it?
Yes, I imagine that it is not particularly the thinnest walls in the flat, and it would not be difficult to hear Tabitha scream, especially for you, Ingrid, who are trained, and Meeks, who doesn't sleep anyway.
So yeah, Ingrid grabs her silver ceremonial dagger and rushes for Tabitha's room, like on high alert. Just kind of the door. Can I like pound on the door or like open it?
I'm sure she doesn't lock her door.
Okay. Now Ingrid bursts in with her dagger, like darting around looking for anything. What's the matter?
I don't know for sure, but I just had like the weirdest fucking dream, and I think someone's calling me to come get information. I'm writing it all down because
Good.
that was weird.
Ingrid steps
as
up
you
to the bed.
stepped in and looked around, Meeks is already in the room, kind of towards Tabitha's back, leaning against the wall.
Ingrid nods to Meeks.
Not sure Tabitha knew that he was there.
Probably not. She probably wouldn't be surprised to turn around and find him, but she didn't necessarily see him come in. Although if he poofed in with the big wings, that she probably would have seen out of the corner of her eye.
Ingrid looks to Meeks and asks, did you see anything?
I think only she did.
Furious scribbling.
He does not have his weapon with him. It's at his feet, but it's not in his hands.
Ingrid puts her hand down with the dagger. All right, yes, that was good instinct. Write down everything you can remember. And she, sort of exhausted, because she was very much startled awake, sits on the end of the bed, and just kind of rubs at her face.
Yeah, I remember you telling me to do that before.
Good, you remember.
When it first started.
You said it was looking for information. What did it say? Exactly.
She finishes writing down the notes that she needs. Some of it she's going to remember, but
Ingrid would wait till she was done before questioning her.
Yeah. It was really weird. I just felt restless, and then there was this woman's voice calling me. It sounded familiar, but I couldn't place it at all. And then it didn't seem like scary. It was a voice that I was fine hearing. But then I was wandering through San Francisco trying to find the voice, and the city started looking really weird, and doors were opening when I went past them. And then all of a sudden there was fire shooting up out of the ground and like giant boulders shooting up, and everything was covered in shadow, and there was a giant tsunami wave about to crash over San Francisco. And then I mean, everything was just going to go to hell, and I couldn't hear anything. And this weird carnival sound, like the carnival music in the background, and then the woman's voice calling again. And then all of a sudden this like giant sickle cut through everything.
Tsunamis, death imagery, and clowns. Yes, that sounds like all standard apocalyptic fare. And
then after the sickle cut through everything, there was this like silence. And then I heard the woman's voice again telling me, "Come to me, Tabitha. I have so much to tell you." And there was a woman She had long dark hair and a sickle and arrow brooch on her, and then we both got swallowed by some sort of giant mouth. And then I woke up screaming because I got swallowed by a giant fucking mouth.
You did not recognize this woman?
No. Her voice sounded familiar, but I don't know who she is.
All right. I mean, there are a few options to look into this if this woman is reaching out for altruistic reasons, or if she is trying to entrap you for some reason. Well, for the only reason, I imagine.
Yeah, I don't know. It was really fucking weird, which is why I wrote it down.
That's good.
I don't know if I'm going to go back to sleep now.
Has Meeks ever mentioned prophecies to the group, or to that Ingrid would know of?
Not directly like that.
But you've implied that, like,
That she has
there's a
destiny.
greater plan. Yeah. Okay. Ingrid sort of sighs from the bed and looks up at Meeks. Does any of this ring any cracker miming? God damn it. Does this ring any sort of bells for your grand plans? Or, well, not your grand plans, but the grand plans.
Appreciate the distinction. He looks at Tabitha and he just kind of nods a little.
Wonderful. Well, I do not know if there's much to be done about it right now. And if you cannot sleep, perhaps we should all just
Google
the word
carnivals.
Raleigh uses? Veg.
Yeah, maybe something happy, like a Disney movie. But not Sleeping Beauty or not Black Cauldron.
You know, most of the stories those are based on are quite gruesome.
Yes, I know.
All right. Yes, let's just help you forget. I can make something. Tea, coffee, food.
Yeah, probably coffee or tea would be good.
Right.
That was weird. And maybe we should Google if there's any carnivals in San Francisco right now.
Sure. That would make sense. Yes. Ingrid steps out of Tabitha's room and puts her dagger on the kitchen counter and proceeds to just start prepping something. Just putting something together. Has Raleigh emerged from any of this, or was he pretty asleep?
He was very asleep.
Okay. No reason to bother him.
Screaming won't wake him up, but somebody in the kitchen might.
That's what I was just thinking. The normal noises of someone making late night snacks might actually rouse him. So yeah, just making coffee. I said rouse.
Yeah, I got it.
But I don't know.
No king shaming here.
No, I won't say that. So yeah, I'm just making coffee and probably just getting some sandwich makings out, like whatever you would make when you're bored and it's late at night, that sort of thing.
All right. So sandwiches and coffees are being made.
Ingrid cracks a beer.
Okay.
Did you get the beer out of the fridge?
Yes.
Okay. Behind the 6-pack is a small iconic green box that has a note on it This is touch my thin mints and die a horrible death.
Ingrid sees the box, grabs a beer from next to the box, goes to close the door, then opens the door and just nudges the box an inch and then closes the door.
What?
Do you have an alarm spell on your box of thin mints? But only the box of thin mints. But yeah, but she will, crack the bottle and just start solemnly drinking while prepping other things.
Yeah, I think I've probably plopped on the couch and something happy is going in the background, like, I don't know, Enchanted.
Sure.
But I'm on my phone actively typing in like carnivals in San Francisco.
Okay. So you don't see anything about carnivals per se. Do you search anything else in particular?
She would probably try circus if carnival doesn't show anything.
May I make a suggestion as to the movie that Tabitha puts on?
Okay.
Instead of Enchanted, let's go with Princess Diaries.
Because that's the one you can quote.
No, for one very specific reason.
Oh, God.
As you are sitting
Julie
there
Andrews.
watching, she's the devil. No, Julie Andrews is a wonderful, sweet woman who I have met and I adore. And I will forever be grateful for getting the chance
I've read
to
Good
meet her.
Omens. I know where this is going.
My shirt has nothing to do with today's game at all. You are watching while you're looking on your phone until you hear the music being echoed from the movie as you watch as Queen Clarice and Amelia are running through a old penny arcade with a woman that is laughing. You can hear kind of the crinkly tunes of the calliope. And they are this movie takes place in San Francisco. It was filmed here. Certainly there must be some sort of penny arcade like this, right?
Ingrid? Ingrid, she hits pause.
Yes, what? I'm listening. I'm listening. I know I'm not always looking at the screen. What?
No, it's not that. I rewind a little bit. Listen to this music. And I play the scene again. That's the music. That's what I heard in my dream.
And Ingrid walks over with her beer and stares at the screen. All right. What is this place?
I mean, it's like this penny arcade that exists here in San Francisco. Maybe we need to go there? Because I'm not finding any circuses or carnivals or anything in San Francisco right now.
Sure. All right. How awake are you feeling right now?
Pretty awake after what had just happened. But I don't know if they're open right now. Hold on, let me Google it. And I start typing in whether it's a 24-hour place or not.
Depending on the circumstances, it might be for the best. It's not.
So
That's true.
What do you type in?
San Francisco Penny Arcade.
All right. As you type that in, a listing for the Musée Mécanique pops up. What's wrong, Kyle?
Nothing. Kyle's fine.
Nothing.
And it is not a 24 hours place, but they open bright and early at 8 a.m. And they offer all sorts of different arcade games, original like Nickelodeons that cost a penny. Laughing Sal is one of the exhibits there, sort of a Punch and Judy-esque character. It seems they boast having a steam-powered motorcycle, among other things. And next to the listing is a woman standing there next to the motorcycle with a big smile on her face, dark hair, and bright eyes, wearing a pin.
That's her. Ingrid, that's her.
All right. We have a face. Is there a name?
I look around to see if I can find the name.
The name is Maeve Tristan.
All right.
So I guess we go talk to Maeve.
Yes.
Do you decide to go now, or are you going to go in the morning?
Is she anywhere online? Any contact information? I could give you a address lookup site or something.
I start digging through the internet looking for social media links or whatever for the Musée Mécanique and see if I can find anything on Twitter or probably not Tumblr, but Twitter or Facebook or anything like that.
You can see lots about the museum, but Maeve Tristan is notably absent from all social media.
Okay, I relay that. Do you know what the symbol is? This like sickle with the arrow?
Trying to conjure up any knowledge of that, Tessa?
Yeah, you can do that.
That'd be
Why don't you
sharp
go ahead
or
and just
weird.
roll? Yeah, go ahead and just roll sharp for me.
9.
The sickle is definitely a tool that is used by some religions. But crossed from the arrow, that's a little strange.
All right. I'm not sure particularly what this combination would imply, but different groups use the sickle symbol for all sorts of things, and it could be, as you saw, some sort of apocalyptic thing, or...
That's definitely what it seemed like.
I believe we will have to speak with her. Yes. Maybe give... Ingrid seems notably at a loss for what to suggest, which is weird for her.
Well, I guess we could wait till they open. I mean, I can't find her on any social media stuff, so it's not like I can text her or try to email her or something. There isn't one.
Could try to find her.
Well, I could email the Musée Mécanique and say attention Maeve and see if that gets a response.
Sure. I will try option 2 while you do that. And
Okay.
Ingrid's going to go into her bag and pull out anything she might need, materials she might need to try to use magic and locate a person or a place. No, I guess that doesn't work. I can't look up a person. It's a place or a time. So I could look up the museum.
You could.
So I would like to look at the pictures that Tabitha had pulled up and try to get a sense of that place, look at the map, just get an idea of where it is, and maybe look at like Google Street View or something just to see the actual street location of it and try to peer inside.
All right. It is right on Fisherman's Wharf. It's in the tourist area of town.
Okay.
Inside, when you're looking at it, there's over 300 different mechanical games. Some of them are music boxes. There's a bunch of different coin-operated fortune tellers, mutoscopes, love testers, player pianos, peep shows, dioramas, pinball machines. It just goes on and on. All of these automatons just everywhere. Some realistic, some not.
And we're in a petty arcade.
Oh, you're not there
We're looking at
currently.
images online, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. We should go there.
You think no?
Is it open?
No.
It opens in the morning. Well, later in the morning.
Then you should sleep.
I don't think I can. I'll just heavily caffeinate. I'll be fine.
Then we should finish the movie. Try to
Do we have any
relax.
popcorn?
I'm sure Raleigh bought some. Probably with that whirly-gig thing.
It's called the Stir
I go make
Crazy.
some microwave popcorn, bring it back. It's called, the brand is Tick or Thick. I can't tell. Just says THC across the front.
How many C's? Oh, one C. Okay.
Nah, man.
Raleigh, good evening. We're having a slumber party. Come join us.
As long as we get to build a pillow fort, what's the occasion?
Bad dreams.
Prophetic,
Oh.
post-apocalyptic dreams.
The first
Dang.
sign.
Of how many?
Let me consult the storyteller. At least one.
Thank you.
You have your answer. It is in your thing.
Oh, I did not see you type.
The first sign?
5.
Oh,
Right. Do you know in what speed of succession we are to expect these signs?
It's
That
not-
you don't know.
I know. It's not time yet.
We'll be going on a field trip first thing in the morning, Raleigh.
Cool. Since you're like my elder, you're gonna have to sign my waiver.
You'll be fine. We're going to an arcade.
Heck yes! That's what I'm talking about. We
On
go to creepy
business.
fountains, and there's like poo vapors and Alcatraz, and I get stabbed. I am all about going to an arcade. This is going to be great.
It's a creepy arcade.
It's San Francisco.
Raleigh, this is also like the arcade that my prophetic dream of doom directed me to. So we don't know that this is going to be a good thing. Just giving you a heads up.
All right, well, I'll keep on the lookout for any weird, like, A-frame toting madmen. The end is nigh. That type of thing.
So, as we're sitting there, I'm going to ask several probably strange and weird questions about the movie, which I do on probably every movie that I watch with Tabitha, but I will also be using Soothe on Tabitha.
Presumably questions about like whether Genovia is a real country and what sort of like ridiculous hereditary royal system it's dealing with.
No, it would be more like why do they carry that, or why do they do it's actually really strange questions. It has nothing to do with that type of stuff.
Why does she like that boy? He has terrible hair.
Yeah, like is he have
We're
some
in the
sort of
first
animal
one, right?
on his hair, you know?
Okay.
I don't remember the movie.
This movie places
Why
an
would you put
unrealistic
M&Ms
expectation
on
of beauty.
pizza?
Yeah, that's a good question.
What movie were we watching? I don't remember.
Princess Diaries.
Princess Diaries.
Is that the
Anne Hathaway.
yeah, make all the boy moose go huang?
Yes,
Yes.
the first
The
one.
second one,
That's-
yeah, got it.
I was gonna say, if we watched that, that would be like the one time Meeks would laugh.
Probably.
The moose.
Make all the boy
Make all
moves
the
go.
boys go
"Wah."
huang.
Confession: I have never seen the Princess Diaries.
First one's cute. I like the
They're
first
both
one.
good. I like them both.
One of my friends used the music suite from the first movie as part of their processional at their wedding. It was really
Aw.
pretty. I didn't know what song it was. I was like, this is a gorgeous piece of music. When I finally found out, I'm like, it's from the fucking Princess Diaries. This is a great score.
That's a different movie.
Yes, the great score. So
So you guys have a slumber party. At some point, Celeste pops in like, hello? You guys weren't going to invite me to a sleepover?
You kind of like summon yourself at will,
Do you sleep?
young one.
No, I really don't sleep.
Tabitha, I just lift up the blanket on like one side of me and hold out an arm like for Celeste to come join.
She does, gleefully.
So is there like a spectral brand of popcorn? Like pop
No.
ghostly secret?
I just have to kind of like stick my face in it, and then I can kind of smell and taste it.
All right.
It's not the same.
Isn't all popcorn dead corn?
fair point.
Yes, but that doesn't mean I can taste it. I mean, most food was alive at some point or other, even the wheat and the crackers that you eat.
I think you would have to find some way to get the corn to stay, to have something unfulfilled when they're killed.
Do you think unpopped kernels are just ghost popcorn? They have not fulfilled their potential.
Les starts like sticking her
The
hand
pencil.
in the bucket of popcorn, trying to like find unpopped kernels.
You can turn over to the other side, little guys. It's okay.
Put them back
Go
in the pan to
towards
try to
the
help
light.
them cross over.
You know, if we go to
towards the
some
light, little ones.
if we go to some like Civil War battlefields, there's a lot of ghostly kernels.
God damn it.
Yeah, if you go on over to Angel Island, there's a bunch of them over there.
Ghostly kernels?
It was a Civil War base before. There was only one battle that happened though in California. It happened over by a place called Petaluma. In the north and the south, they met at a place called the Washoe House, and they settled out their differences over a pint.
It is nice. Is
True fucking story, y'all.
is this something that you've picked up after your accident, or was it something you always knew? All these facts about San Francisco?
I like history. It's cool.
It's good to know where things came from.
Yeah. My dad was really into like different histories and paranormal history and stuff.
Hey, you know why dentists don't like history, right?
Why?
because of all the plaques.
I think you mean wow.
You guys are getting punchy.
Yep.
Yeah.
I ran a
Almost
one-shot
like
by
it's
the seat of
11
my
o'clock
pants
at night
today.
over
I
there.
was, I've been punchy for several hours now.
Yeah, my dad was a ghost hunter.
Really?
Mm-hmm. You
What
think he'd be
was
better
his-
at finding me?
Hmm. Well, you know, if you needed assistance
Why
in
don't
that
you play
department,
this character? Sorry.
we would be more than happy to help if that is something you wish. Could drop an anonymous tip.
No, you're like the reigning hide and seek champion. Don't break your streak now.
Ooh.
Raleigh.
Hate
That's fine,
this.
'cause I've
Why
got
am I
Daddy
playing
makes-
this character? God damn.
I have corporeal dad here, and she just kind of leans a head over on Meeks.
It's just watching YouTube.
That was Angela, not Ingrid laughing.
Couldn't tell.
Ingrid does not laugh. That's not true.
Oh, Celeste, this is the cute part.
Was the foot pop
It-
part?
it's like the foot pop part.
Just cut into the middle of this movie for no reason.
Does that actually happen when you get kissed, like the whole foot pop thing, or is that like just movies?
Oh,
It's movies.
It has to be intentionally done. It's not involuntary.
It's not reflexive.
Raleigh's all sad now.
He's just hoping a little bit of magic just left the world for him.
It's like every time you say that you don't believe in fairies.
Oh, you really should.
Say that you don't believe in fairies?
No, you really
No,
should
you should
believe
totally
in
believe.
fairies. They can be quite troublesome if you are not vigilant.
My dad totally met a fairy once.
Really? Here
Mhm.
in the States?
Yeah, her name is Queen Mad.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. And
She
he lived to
supposedly
tell
had
the
this-
tale.
Oh yeah, they were like big buddies. She had the sickle that he wanted, and she wouldn't give it to him, and he kept bargaining for it. But
Celeste, hold on one moment. What is your father's name?
Tristan. I mean, sorry, Taliesin.
Taliesin Jaffa Cake.
Is not Taliesin Jaffa Cake.
Last name?
That's why I hadn't gotten that far. Give me a second.
Okay, no, that's fine. You can just say she says it.
She gives you the last name.
Okay.
It's not important.
Sure, I'm gathering. You said he had a sickle that she wanted?
No, Queen Mad
He
had a
had
sickle
a
that he wanted.
Hmm.
He had something else. He had a chalice? Yeah, a chalice. He was going to try and trade her for the sickle, but she decided she didn't want it.
Hmm. Tabitha, where are your notes with the symbol on it?
You're right, Ingrid.
About?
About your suspicions.
That is both comforting and unsettling. Celeste, have you ever seen this before? The symbol?
Oh, yeah.
Where?
That's,
How are you
my
eating
dad had a pin like
popcorn?
that.
You're very successfully eating
You're
those
doing that
kernels.
really well. Kernels all over the floor, but
They're chewed, but they're just
Look,
in
it's like the
floor.
first thing I've been able to put into my mouth that hasn't just fallen right through me since 1989. In other words, the storyteller finally feels well enough to try and put food in her stomach, even if it's just chips.
I will say that I like the kernels myself because they usually have like the salt and all the seasoning and butter on them, so you can just like
Yep.
even spit them right back out. You don't want to
Peel
chew on them; they'll shatter your teeth.
You chew the skin off
Pathetic.
at least before you put them back in the bowl.
Yeah, my dad had a pin like that.
A pin? Was that part of his ghost hunting, or was that from something else?
I don't know. Every time I asked him about it, he told me that he would tell me another time. It wasn't important to the grand plan.
Ingrid glances at Meeks. All right. So I'm going to ask you a question, Celeste, and it might come to something, it might not.
Mhm.
Where I was gonna say, who is your daddy and what does he do? But we know both those answers. Where did your parents live last that you know?
Tamales Bay.
Where is that?
It's about an hour north of San Francisco,
Okay.
right on the coast.
There is a possibility, Celeste, that your intentions with your parents might not be. We might not be able to ignore them if you wish to do that. You do not necessarily have to join us, but we may have to speak with your father.
That could be interesting.
Perhaps we.
It's getting to the good part.
The food pop already happened.
Oh, right. Sorry. I was talking about the mid-roll of the credits.
Oh, the
Sorry.
blooper reel? Yeah. We might have to put a pin in that for now, but we should discuss it soon.
Okay.
Do you know, what was the name of that woman? Tabitha.
Maeve Tristan.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Tessa.
Hmm?
Can I slip some meta knowledge into Ingrid's knowledge? Can I try to assess something?
Please go ahead and do so.
Would Ingrid understand the connections of the names Mab and Maeve?
Uh-huh. I'm pretty sure you would.
Okay. All right. Great. Yeah. Tabitha, I have a very unfortunate suspicion that perhaps a fake court has contacted you.
Ooh, wait, what? Like Queen. Oh,
Queen Mab, and if you have been doing the readings I assigned to you, you would also recognize the name Maeve.
most of them I do recognize. Oh, crap.
And the sickle and the symbology, as Meeks has expressed, this all seems unsettlingly connected.
I have to deal with the Fae.
Well, it was bound to happen sooner or later.
Yeah, Tessa's running the game.
That's true.
Now, Tessa, I don't want to blend my own other fiction awareness of Mab and Maeve. Are they considered the same person here or different people here? What is the connection?
It is an alias that she is using.
Okay.
Her reputation may not be exactly the same,
Okay.
and you can take from that what you will.
And what was the last name? It was Maeve.
Tristan.
Maeve Tristan. Okay. All right. I don't think I'm going to be sleeping either.
Same.
I'm getting back to bed.
Sure. Set an alarm. We're leaving first thing in the morning. It opens at 8, so we will be leaving far before that.
You don't want to watch the next Princess Diaries with us?
Damn it. Yes, I do. Fine, let me go get a blanket.
Can we bust out your treasure there in the fridge, Raleigh?
My what?
The green box.
Oh. Yes. We may.
Tabitha has been through quite a bit this evening. I think it would be nice to maybe treat her to something special.
Tabitha, do you still like Thin Mints?
Who doesn't like Thin Mints? Wait, we have Thin Mints?
No, we don't. I do. And I am sharing with the group.
Only
Celeste, if you would like to partake, you can.
Only if any of
taste.
them have been put in the freezer.
They've been in the fridge, which is a nice halfway point.
Acceptable.
Meeks.
She doesn't look like it's really acceptable.
Meeks.
Sorry, I was watching The Princess.
I know, but so I know you don't really like cookies, but you should definitely try one of these because I think you might really enjoy it.
Okay.
Because I can't have any. So if you having some, then I get to have them through you.
That's not creepy
That's
at all.
disturbing.
Eat the cookie, Meeks. Eat the cookie.
Looks around for the cookie.
Ingrid will bust out the box. Really tempted to just take a whole roll of them. But passes them out. Hands the box to Raleigh.
Raleigh takes a roll.
I mean, they are his. That's fine.
He'll take a little, like, nibble off the edge, probably like a quarter of the cookie. It's too sweet. He'll put the rest of it down.
Should watch Raleigh, Celeste. I think you'll be more entertained.
Oh, that reminds me. Tabitha jumps up real quick and I run over to the fridge. I get out 2 bags from the freezer. One is chocolate chip cookies and one is also chocolate chip cookies. And she brings them over. Here, I made these the other day. Meeks, this bag, and I point to the one that has like maybe 5 cookies in it. I set some batter aside and didn't add any sugar. So the chocolate has sugar, but there's no other sugar. You might actually be able to eat these.
All right.
Is Raleigh eating the cookies with his eyes closed, just like that, Kyle? Like,
Yeah, I
just
was watching
enjoying
like
that.
a rapturous moment happening.
So, what Raleigh does is he takes the cookie that is super cold and places it onto his tongue and then just presses it into the roof of his mouth so that the chocolate just begins to melt, and then cracks the cookie in the center by pressing up with his tongue into the roof of his mouth, and then just slowly starts to just like chew the cookies from the side.
So as
Ingrid's just watching and Ingrid's just watching and she just murmurs, "You have a very rich internal life, Raleigh."
Don't I know it?
That's all.
as he is putting cookies into his mouth with his eyes closed, Celeste gets up from where she's sitting, walks around behind the chair, and then goes incorporeal as he puts the cookie into his mouth and opens up her mouth, so it like passes through her mouth into his.
That's even creepier.
And then just starts giggling uncontrollably.
What the hell?
I almost got a taste that time.
Ingrid almost spits out her beer.
Can't really
Sorry.
claim a violation of personal space because you're not really like occupying it, but
I won't do it again, I promise.
you can, well, just, you know, it'd be nice if I had a little inkling of what was going to happen before it happened, so that way I could,
Raleigh?
like, give my permission. Yeah.
Do you ever have an inkling of what's going to happen before it happens?
Yeah, man. Have you ever had like pre-deja vu where you're like, yeah, I can totally tell that that's about to happen, and then it happens and you giggle like crazy?
So how is it then that you still keep getting hurt?
Meeks, leave him alone.
I'm just lucky like that, I guess.
Do you see yourself going home anytime soon?
Meeks, be nice and try the damn cookie.
Believe it or not, I am being nice. He'll reach over and take a bite of the cookie.
That is a fair question, Raleigh. I could
He starts eating
go
around
see the
chocolate
family
chips.
at... God damn it. Fucking monster. He's the real monster of the week. Yeah, Raleigh, it is a fair question. If you head home, maybe I could tag along for a bit. See family, you know.
Maybe, but I have. If I'm gonna be your guys' like moral compass to where like you don't cause people's heads to explode, then if that's my lot in life, then so be it. Because Luvius Slugger over here seems to be a little bit hair triggery with his baseball bat, his Venta bat, whatever we're calling it.
Were we able to research that person's name at any point in the interim in the last few days? Because that would have been a priority as well if Angela had remembered that was a thing, because I'd been thinking about it all week.
Yes, and you did discover that he ran a side blog about how to divine spirits and their locations and how to summon them forth.
Xavier did?
Mm-hmm. A little bit of a crackpot, by all accounts, from anyone who doesn't deal with spirits.
Did we find any other indications of employment or anything like that?
That you did not.
Okay.
So no, I'm not going home anytime soon. No, I'm not okay with what you did, and it's going to scar me for the remainder of my days. But y'all are like family, and family by choice is different than family by blood. No offense, Ingrid. You got to stick with your family.
Ingrid leans over. Oh, go ahead. Ingrid leans over with her beer bottle and cheerses Raleigh's Thin Mint packet and just drinks.
Meeks stops mid nibble and puts down the cookie.
You don't seem pleased with that decision, sir.
Kind of looks up at you. Not sure if you were talking to him or not.
You are the only other sir in this room. Unless, Ingrid, you were knighted.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, then. Unless, Tabby, you were knighted.
Okay. No,
No.
it's not.
Raleigh and Meeks both look to.
Raleigh goes, "Was I knighted?" I did wake up in medieval times at one time.
The horse stall. He just turns back to the TV.
Good talk.
Thank you for staying, Raleigh. She kind of like pats your arm or your hand, whatever she can like reach easily as she's sitting on the couch.
Faux show.
Ingrid just lifts her beer bottle at Raleigh. Just nod. Well, it's 4 for now, Meeks. 5 if Celeste is joining us. Which she seems to be doing with increased frequency.
I mean, if you're all okay with it.
Well, he's not worried about you getting injured, so I'm sure he's fine with it.
6 if Marshall joins us.
True. All right. Well, I guess.
I'm going
Sorry,
to
go ahead.
I'm going to get ready for tomorrow. Or a few hours from now.
Yeah. I wish I'm not gonna be able to fall asleep. Not after that fire erupting out of the ground and a giant tsunami about to crash down on San Francisco. I'm not going to sleep anytime soon.
Wait, what?
My nightmare, my dream that I had, and I give her a quick synopsis.
You said the earth sprung up, fire, air, and water. All 4 elements.
Yeah.
I went to one of their concerts once. It was pretty good. They put on a good show.
And what was it that cut through the background? A sickle?
A sickle.
Sickles are associated with the element of air. At least according to my dad.
All right. What would that connection mean to you then, according to your father?
Intelligence. Whatever we're dealing with is incredibly intelligent.
Seems to track.
Especially if it is Queen Mab.
When I met her, she didn't seem mean. She seemed shrewd, like she knew how to get what she wanted, but she didn't seem like a mean person.
That's good.
Dad just said she was another seeker like him, though.
Seeker of what?
Truth.
Seeker of the elements. The sickle, the athame, the chalice, and the jewel.
The artifacts.
Like, the Athame, like, what Tabby has? Or just a more esoteric Athame?
Dad called it Excalibur once. And Mom just said it was a fancy sword.
Anything else besides fancy swords? There are many of those around.
They used to have lots of parties.
Need to brush up on my Mallory and THY.
Celeste, I would very much like you to continue to assist us.
Can I?
Ingrid
Not being a
glances
pest?
Ingrid glances at Meeks. Doesn't wait for him to answer and just answers to Celeste, no, you're not being a pest.
Are you sure? Sometimes I talk too much.
I would talk with you more if I could. Trust me.
Same. Celeste, what were like the other items related to? Like you said the sickle was air?
The athame is fire, and the chalice is water, and the jewel is earth.
So what do we do with this information?
That I don't know.
Research.
A few phone calls.
I mean, if the athame was called Excalibur, was the chalice ever called the Grail?
I think Nini called it that once.
I knew
Nini.
that one.
Celeste.
Mm-hmm.
Is Nini, who is that to you?
Oh, Aunt Ninian. She's really cool.
Ingrid just starts rubbing at her temple.
Mm-hmm.
Like, of course. Of fucking course.
She's like
All
this
right.
super badass horsewoman, and she loves doing dressage and equestrian stuff, and she can shoot a bow and arrow really good, and she's like a badass kind of, sorry, I shouldn't say ass. I know it's not appropriate language, but she's really cool, and she can use a sword, and she was teaching me, and she was telling me that I was going to be a Valkyrie someday, and we were going to be awesome together, and we were going to kick butts.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But the Valkyries aren't real,
Ingrid-
so, I mean...
Ingrid glances at Tabitha, like...
Yeah, Tabitha's looking at
and
Ingrid.
nods quietly to her. I would love to meet your Aunt Ninian. Actually, I'm not sure, Tessa, do I know Ninian? Like, have I met her, or do I just know of her?
You know of her. She is
Okay.
the head of the organization. You have not met her.
Okay. It seems to me we have two possible paths here. We could speak to Maeve, find out what she wants, or we could speak to friendly faces.
I mean, personally, my vote would be for someone from your organization, and she looks at Ingrid, over Faye, just in case. But I mean, we probably need to go talk to both.
Sure. Perhaps it would be best to get our bearings with what we know before we go into the unknown. Did I get a number for Ninian, Tessa?
No. Sigrun said that she would pass the message along.
Okay. Celeste, where does your Aunt Ninian live?
I don't know. I've never been to her house. She always came to visit us.
Ah, I see. All right.
I pull out my cell phone and I text to Ingrid just because I don't want to make Celeste upset. Maybe we should send a message through Sigrun to Ninian. I'm assuming I've heard the name Ninian. Regarding Talison's daughter Celeste to get a faster response? Question mark.
She texts back, I'll make a call. I'm going to adjourn for now. I'll be back. Try to get some sleep. Do not start the third movie without me, and we will.
There's 3 of these things?
They
Did you
haven't
know-
actually released the third one yet. It's not out yet, but
Oh,
they're talking about making one.
okay. I thought there was no this. Anyway, I will be back. Oh, everyone sit tight, get their stuff together. We'll be making a trip one way or the other tomorrow. And Ingrid will go to the kitchen and grab her knife off the counter and take that back to her room.
Does anybody want any coffee?
There's coffee on the counter.
Yeah.
Yes.
I made a pot.
Yes.
The
Hey,
ghost
Mix.
is moving in my background.
You want some like black coffee? It's really not sweet. It's actually kind of bitter at times. That's why I put a lot of salt in it.
Well, thank you.
Ingrid's going to call Sigrun again. So she called her a few days ago and is going to try to call her again. While she is looking for her phone, she also grabs her duffel bag and pulls out her heirloom sword. And after all the Celeste talk, is just sort of like looking at it and letting her mind sort of wander into very whimsical places. And then as the phone starts ringing, she chuckles and just tosses the sword on the bed like, fuck off, and puts that away.
Hello?
Seems old habits die hard. Hello. It's me.
It's quite early for you.
Yes, well, we had a bit of a morning. And Ingrid proceeds to info dump to Sigrun about everything that happened and the dream, and about Celeste and her father, and about all the connections we just made and don't really know what they mean. I know it is asking a lot for guidance, and at some point I have to give Tabitha's number to you, I suppose, but if you have anything that we could draw on, or if you could increase the urgency of your message to Ninian, that would also be very appreciated.
You saying that the sickle is in San Francisco?
It is possible, yes.
Yes, I will absolutely pass this message along immediately. Well done, Ingrid. Perhaps you and Tabitha should come home.
For what purpose, if you don't mind me being so, questioning?
Well, I mean, you've been in San Francisco for quite some time now. Surely you could probably stand a bit of debriefing and...
Sigrun, I made my position fairly clear when I was in Berlin. I would not be returning home.
Is Raleigh still with you?
Takes a moment for Ingrid to answer. I am keeping an eye on him.
And are you moving forward with our request?
No, I am not.
Even for the good of the organization? Ingrid, Raleigh is dangerous. You know that, right? I'm glad you're keeping an eye on him, but perhaps it is best that you and Tabitha come home so I can really tell you what's going on.
I would hope that you would not force my hand, so if it is a choice between I choose him. I'm sorry.
Very well. I sincerely hope that decision does not haunt you when it is too late.
Goodbye, Sigrid. She'll hang up. She just spends the rest of the night in her room.
Meeks, as you're sitting there, Celeste kind of comes over to you and sits on the corner of your chair.
Okay.
Did I do something wrong?
No, why?
You're very quiet tonight. And you've been
I'm always quiet.
more so than usual. You've been poking at Raleigh for a couple of days now, and
I've been
I just wanna
poking at
make sure
Raleigh
you're
since the
okay.
day I met him. That's not new. Nothing has changed.
I don't know, just seems different.
Promise you, nothing has changed.
Okay. You'll be careful tomorrow?
I'll do what I have to do.
Okay. I'm gonna go try and, well, not sleep, because, I don't sleep, but, go store energy up so I can keep maintaining form.
Sleep well.
Thanks. Good night, Tabitha. Good night, Raleigh.
Night, Celeste.
Night, Celeste.
Have better dreams, Tabby.
Thank you. I'm hoping I do.
And she'll just kind of float on out of the room to wherever Celeste goes when she's not hanging out with you. Is there anything the rest of the three of you do, or Ingrid, you do before the night comes to an end?
Only if I have a chance to talk to Tabitha alone.
Raleigh already discussed his intention about going back to bed, so that's probably not long in the making.
Waits for the DM
Yeah.
to set the scene.
So Raleigh goes to bed.
Yes, sorry. I assumed that Raleigh had gone to bed. I'm so sorry. Yeah,
He
Raleigh
just
goes to bed.
answered
He's
Celeste,
just-
so
Night, Raleigh.
And you two find yourself alone.
wait until an appropriate moment, like the movie ends or whatever whatever's on ends, and I'll pick up the remote and hand it to Tabitha, because I don't know what the hell to do with it.
Fucking Luddite.
And sits up. Not really looking at Tabitha.
She turns off the TV or puts it on the like Netflix screen or whatever it is.
You should stop encouraging Raleigh to stay.
He's my friend, Meeks.
He's going to
And he's
die.
Ingrid's. He might. Any of us might. We all
He's
will
going
eventually.
to die. He doesn't have to.
What do you mean?
Raleigh doesn't need to be here.
But what do you mean he will die?
If he stays,
Like, there's
he
no
will die.
question?
There's no question.
Is that part of it?
Good night, Tabitha. And he gets up and heads off to his room.
She puts on Princess Bride.
Puts the movie on again.
No, Princess
No,
Bride.
Oh, Princess. Sorry. Too many princesses.
Tabitha, do you sleep at all the rest of the night?
Hell no. Between the nightmare and that bomb, no.
The sun rises early. It is a cool gray day. You can hear the birds singing as the sun crosses your faces. Meeks, who doesn't sleep, is already awake. Tabitha, you never went to sleep. You're still on the couch. The Swan Princess is currently playing.
Just have a DVD all princess movies.
Yes.
Sure.
Raleigh, you could smell coffee. Ingrid, did you sleep after that phone call, or did you stay awake?
She stayed awake, trying to plan what she was gonna have for the day, and realizing that she left most of her stuff in Berlin. So she doesn't have her armor, she doesn't have her guns, she just has that sword and that dagger. And so she finished packing for the day very quickly and then just sort of sat there.
I imagine that you might be the cause of the smell for coffee then.
Yes. She would have gotten up and instigated that.
And the day begins. You all find yourself in the living room again. Celeste has not reemerged. It's entirely plausible that she needed more time. That seemed to have been a lot of energy for her to expend.
Maybe she should stop trying to eat cookies for people.
What's the point of being a ghost if you can't enjoy the taste and brief hint of flavor of Thin Mints without actually getting the calories.
Fair enough. At some point, I do go back to my room and I get dressed and do my makeup and whatever.
Ingrid seems dressed for the day, but she is decidedly not in a three-piece suit. She is in jeans and like a sweater. It's weird seeing her casual. It's like what she was wearing when she got back from Berlin, but she has not gotten into her quote unquote like Valkyrie uniform. And is making double strong coffee for everyone.
So, do I need like rolls of pennies, or can I bring like quarters? Because I've got like quarters for the laundromat.
I do not know what kind of arcade we should be expecting.
All right,
Bring
so
both, maybe.
yeah, yeah. I'll bring like 5 rolls. No, 4 rolls. Sorry if Celeste isn't coming. 4 rolls of pennies and like 4 rolls of quarters, I guess. Some jerk tipped and just loose change.
Here, and Tabitha reaches in a bag and pulls out a handful of like quarter rolls. I got these
$100
for the
bill.
laundry room.
Yeah,
No.
oh shit, that's different stash.
Different bag.
I got these for the laundry room.
Meeks pulls out like a bunch of crumpled out $100 bills. Will they take these?
I may be able to get us some smaller denominations, but also perhaps less traceable cash. It might be best to, for lack of a better word for it, launder it a bit before we start spending it.
That's true, just in case.
I was supposed to talk to Ninian about that, in point of fact. So, 2 birds, 1 stone, as it were.
So are we going to the Museum Mécanique today, then? While we wait?
Could do a little bit of fact-finding, sure. Ingrid looks to Meeks. Do you have any recommendations?
What are our options?
Wait here for word from the Valkyries, or go poke a fey hornet's nest. See what shakes out.
So we're not going to the arcade?
That was the arcade option.
Seems like not a very good entertainment.
No, but it is business.
I think doing is better than waiting.
Agreed. To the arcade, then. Raleigh makes you may play games if you wish not to sully the entertainment.
I mean, that's like part of our cover and going there, right? Or it's like a fact-finding mission. It would be weird if like a whole bunch of people just rolled in there and then didn't play any games. So I will be getting a set of plastic vampire fangs if they have, the little ticket system.
Those things are so uncomfortable.
Yes, but they're iconic. And at least one giant sticky hand.
After you.
As long as you don't hit me with it like when we were kids.
I was such a good aim, though. I could steal a ho-ho from 15 feet away.
Ew. Oh. Gross. Oh, man. See, I could see like a cracker. I don't know about a ho-ho.
That's why you go with the mega-sized sticky hands. Because it like wraps around it.
Like, don't touch my
Then you
cracker.
just squeeze it out into your mouth. You'll need a new hand after that, but that's okay. You can do it
Roll-
twice.
As Raleigh's listing off his bounty list from the ticket
All the
booth.
things he's stolen from the sticky hands.
I got a marble one time, and then I got that slammer from that Pog kid when I was in the 90s.
But the best was when I stole another sticky hand with my sticky hand.
It's real meta.
Meta.
Sorry.
They were like star-crossed sticky lovers.
Ew.
Most of them are.
Yeah.
That's
where
not
I
a
went.
that's not a descriptor that it's implied. Can we move on now?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Ingrid
Just
drinks
continue.
her very strong coffee while she hears Raleigh just talking up a foolish.
Talking about sticky lovers.
And then after some time passes and we've all loaded up with whatever we're bringing and caffeine, Ingrid just sort of to the job, has her duffel and opens the door. Shall we?
You guys make your way out to the Musée Mécanique. And this building, which is in a pier, boasts several hundred different kind of games and different attractions, all of them strange and interesting. There's a few pinball machines, there's a few arcade type games, but most of them are not your typical arcade. Raleigh, you're almost a little disappointed that they don't have any like actual games, but they do have an arm wrestling man, which looks really fun to try and arm wrestle. Ingrid, as you walk in, you can hear the canned laughter of laughing Sal as someone puts in a quarter and she flops forward, her blonde curly hair kind of cascading over her face and then back as her bucktooth smile bobs up and down with eerie mechanic, almost metronome-esque tempo.
Nope, not about that.
Tabitha, you see the display boasting steam-powered motorcycle, and get a little bit closer, you see what could have been an interesting design. Meeks, what is something... Actually, I know what Meeks... Meeks, you find a working Ferris wheel made entirely out of toothpicks. And when a quarter is placed in, a carousel made of toothpicks also starts rotating as the Ferris wheel turns.
Definitely something he's fascinated by.
A little plaque in the corner says, "Made by the inmates at San Quentin Prison."
True story.
True story.
Need to send them a card.
There are animatronic barbershop quartets that sing when you put a quarter into the slot. Marionettes of all different shapes and sizes. Not a whole lot of people in here at the moment, though.
Ingrid's making the rounds, just looking at all the machines, also sort of subtly keeping an eye out for any like back doors or office doors or anything like that.
There is an office door, yes.
She takes note of it and continues looking around. See if someone will come to them.
Every now and again, you do hear the kind of circus organ music pipe up as the cacophony of the pinball machines and different exhibits start moving.
Tabitha, think you could reach out or look around, see if anything is noticeable for you?
Yeah, give me a second. And I want to use the site and look around to see if I find anything.
Okay. You don't see a whole lot in here. You get a feeling of way more spectral activity just outside of the museum towards the pier. But at the moment, you don't feel anything in here.
Okay, and I don't see any signs of magic.
At the moment, no.
Okay, I relay this.
Ingrid walks over to the door that she identified as being the back room, and knocks on it several times.
One moment. A few minutes later, a plump woman with dark hair, warm eyes, and a gentle smile comes bustling out of the back room. She's got a broad apron on with deep pockets and has good sturdy boots on and a little tool belt around her waist. Looks like it would be used to repair machines of some sort. Can I help you?
Ingrid quietly looks at Tabitha with like sort of a raised, questioning eye.
Is it
Basically
her?
like, yeah, that's what Ingrid's asking Tabitha.
It definitely looks like her. Sounds like her.
I think you may have called me.
Called you? I don't think I've used my phone. And as she turns to look at you, she stops speaking for a moment. And a smile just lights up her face. You must be Tabitha. Welcome. I'm so glad you got my message. Are these your friends? Please, come. Sit with me.
I kind of look at Ingrid like, should we?
What is she motioning for us to sit at, or?
And when she opens up she kind of opens up the back room a little bit, and there's like a comfy, it looks like a bunch of like comfy mismatched furniture, like a love sofa or the love seat and an overstuffed sofa. There's got like little crocheted doilies on it, a nice coffee table. There's a pot of tea there with some crackers and cheese and cookies. Looks like not particularly your grandmother, but a grandmother's little sitting parlor where she entertains her friends.
Ingrid waits, like sort of motions is Raleigh paying attention to this too, or is he just playing arcade games? Stuff happens.
Yes, he's paying attention.
Okay.
I
Ingrid
tried to
waits
come up with something clever, but
Ingrid waits for people to go in before her, but as each of them go in, she sort of makes this kind of miming motion of like drinking and like don't. Just like, yeah, do not eat.
I've seen this Butterwick Chronicles. I know.
Ingrid pats Raleigh on the shoulder. And waits if Meeks is joining them.
Yeah.
And Ingrid will go in last, and have her dagger in her waistband.
She motions for you all to sit. In the room, while from the outside does not appear to be particularly large, is spacious enough to fit all of you comfortably. Ingrid, you would swear that the fire going in the fireplace is a peat moss fire. And you're pretty sure this place didn't have a fireplace when you walked into it.
If you would not mind a bold question, how far from San Francisco are we right now?
Oh, you are a perceptive one, aren't you? I always knew that Tabitha's friends, and Tabitha, of course, were very smart, but I wasn't even expecting quite that quick of a response.
Wait.
Timey-wimey bullshit, Raleigh.
Okay. All right.
Are we in the Fae?
Oh, no. No, dear, I wouldn't take you to the Fae without your permission.
Appreciated.
Yeah. Mortals like yourselves tend to lose time if I do that.
Some of us have already lost a bit.
Not immortal.
You get this sensation makes as her warm gaze kind of turns towards you. There's no less warmth and affection in it but it's a little bit more calculating. I can see that.
You didn't see it before, though. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Glad to know I could
No,
do you a
I-
favor.
That's not quite how
Meeks
it works.
is not smiling. I am, though.
If only that was how it works here. My contracts, you'll find, are a little bit more binding than just a please and thank you.
Thank you.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
Why did you call me?
The same reason I am here for you.
Because I need your help, Tabitha. And I think I can offer you help in return.
Maybe not exactly the same reason.
He's a very fierce protector. You're fortunate.
The fiercest. Makes mental note to ask what fierce means later.
Oh, I wasn't referring to you, dear, but that's very kind. She pats Raleigh's hand.
What? I was distracted. I'm sorry. Everything is just so homey and comfortable. Kyle was just not paying attention. Sorry. Angela's distracting him.
Sorry. Sorry.
There's handsome men going on in private chat.
I mean, what can you do with handsome men?
So many things. She turns to you again, Meeks. I meant no disrespect. You are definitely
I know.
a stalwart companion yourself.
I know exactly what you're doing and what your intentions are.
Oh? Please enlighten me.
Do you not know?
Oh, I do. I am just not entirely sure that you have the entire picture. And therefore I want to clear up any misunderstandings that you might have.
I didn't say I understood all of your intentions, only what you're doing right now.
Which is conversing with you and offering you tea. Thank you for the raid.
Thanks for the raid.
No, that's not what you're doing.
It's not. Very well. You would prefer more business, less pleasure.
I don't know about that.
I would prefer more honesty and less games.
Good luck.
I am Faye, my dear. I cannot lie.
That does not preclude games.
That is true. And I do ever so much have a fondness for them. However, this is far more serious a situation.
Which is why your games are so much more intricate.
What, like backgammon?
Would you like to play, Raleigh?
He is merely a spectator in this. He would not like to participate. Thank you.
They really underestimate you sometimes, don't they? And she just kind of caresses the corner of your cheek, Raleigh.
We protect our own.
And you do an admirable job.
I do not underestimate Raleigh in the slightest. Once again, you're wrong.
What do you need my help with? Let's get to the point.
Very well. You have a great deal of power, young one. I could use someone on my staff with such power. Now, I'm not talking about indentured servitude or anything like that, because I know where my reputation precedes me, and that is not what I am considering. But your ability to see spirits and magic is something that I lack. I am engaged in a bit of a contest currently with a few friends. I was wondering if you would be so kind as if you just had a little bit of information for me to perhaps slip it in my ear every now and again. Help me get a leg up on the competition, as it were.
What kind of competition?
Several of my friends and I are walking the spiral labyrinth.
Sounds dangerous.
It can be if you lose your way or your footing. I know that you all are keen hunters and sometimes come across interesting tidbits of information. There can only be one true winner of the labyrinth. And
What does
so
the
I would
winner
ask-
get?
Wow. That is the real question, isn't it? The winner gets a chance to right wrongs, rework the past, to fix things as to how they should have been.
It is quite an unstable prospect.
It
Who is
is.
to say what is wrong or what things should be?
The winner?
I don't necessarily relish the idea of some of my competitors having that ability.
Who else is in the competition?
Five other individuals.
Atlantics?
Again, so smart.
Well, there's 4 of them. Nah.
Not quite there. There are more than 4.
Oh!
Fewer than 7
Cool.
now, though.
Oh, right. I forgot how to count the letters in that word because I
It's
only
alright.
learned how to spell it last week.
So Atlantics is one group.
It is.
And you.
And me.
I don't remember Celeste's father's name.
Taliesin.
Taliesin.
Is Taliesin another?
You have already listed Taliesin's involvement.
I see.
How is
Ingrid fails
darling
to make that.
Celeste? Such a pity.
Is that a wrong you would right?
In a heartbeat.
There must be some kind of restrictions on righting these wrongs.
None that I am aware of.
There are many people who do not deserve to be dead.
I agree.
And you would claim to adjudicate these decisions? Reverse them all? Reverse the ones that matter to you? How would you be making these choices?
I would reverse the ones that do not impact fate in an unkind way. But merely those who would have grown to be good people had fate not intervened poorly on their behalf.
You have a surprising interest in morality I did not expect.
Not all stories you read are true.
The victor writes history.
And
Who else seeks these?
rewrites it if need be.
Who else would you consider a seeker?
Difficult to say. People have been seeking for quite some time. I have not been able to keep track of everyone who has interests in artifacts.
You said there were 5 others in the competition. So there
Yes.
must be at least 5 that you consider your top competition. Besides Atlantics, who else are we dealing with?
Besides Atlantics, none that I know names of.
But there are others.
I would assume.
Out of complete morbid curiosity, Ingrid relaxes in her seat, unzips her duffel, and pulls out her sword and just kind of lays it on top of the bag. She doesn't brandish it or anything. She just puts it down. How dangerous do you... You just wish for information. Yes, that's all you ask.
That is all I ask. Information.
What do I get in return?
A sickle.
And why would you give up such a treasure?
Because I believe that Tabitha may have more of a need for it than I do.
Ingrid, slightly, just slightly bothered, sighs and glances over at Meeks. Just kind of this sort of acknowledgement of this grand plan he keeps talking about, and having someone corroborate it. Someone very much a bigwig corroborating makes it a little more real for her, for Ingrid. And she just kind of resigns and nods at Meeks, like, okay, you win.
Meeks, is there anything I can do to put your mind at ease?
You're not asking anything of me. I don't speak for her.
Specifically, what kind of information are you looking for me to give you?
When you find out more information about Atlantics, I would like to know what you've learned.
So you basically just want me to give you well, there might be more later, but at the moment you basically want me to give you information on the main competitor that you know exists.
Correct.
Is this something she could think on?
Of course.
What can the sickle do?
May I see your palm?
She holds out her hand.
She takes your hand in hers. And your palm has several fine lines crossing it. A throwback from the use of your magics. She crosses one finger across one of the scarred lines. And as she runs her finger across, the scar fades into nothingness. I can give you the power to erase that which would hurt. And give you the power to heal instead.
Well, that's pretty nifty.
Ingrid just contemplates the very noticeable scar that is currently across her face from the last time she was trying to heal herself.
So it would give me the ability to do more healing.
Yes.
How else would it affect her?
Well, let me get to my notes. She would not pause, but like Tessa is pausing.
Looking at the fine print.
You think she's going to give you the fine print?
It'll be in there, but she goes, "Oh, weird! I lost my magnifying glass. I'm sorry."
I can't see it. I can't see it.
Oh, that's just a smudge. That's not an
Yeah, it's
asterisk.
totally fine. Not at all. It shouldn't affect her much more than that.
That is a suspiciously vague statement.
I am not human. I could not tell you exactly how it would affect a human. I do know the powers and the capabilities of said artifact, and I believe that Tabitha is more than strong enough to handle it.
What kind of effects does it have on Faye?
The same. I can heal with it. But I have to be very careful. not to touch too much of the iron.
Could you use a pot holder or something?
I think it burns me, unfortunately, even through that.
Dang. That sucks.
I don't believe that Tabitha would suffer any ill will or ill effects from the artifact unless she kept it with her for several centuries. Then I would be unsure.
And humans don't live that long, so it shouldn't be an issue. I do need to think about it.
Of course.
But I appreciate the offer.
It is my pleasure. You have honored me with your presence, all of you. Thank you. Yes, even you, Raleigh.
Would you mind terribly if we excused ourselves from your fine home?
Of course.
And continued on our day.
Of course. Feel free to enjoy the musée. Any game you wish will work without need for any money.
Bitchin'. That's amazing.
Raleigh would sell his soul for a pinball machine.
Feel free to amuse
I mean, depending on the
yourselves as
pinball
long as you
machine.
like.
Original T2 with working trigger gun. That might be worthwhile.
Ingrid offers her a polite nod, grabs up her duffel bag, keeps her sword out, but walks out with those things and looks
Ingrid?
for everyone else. Yes.
I would be exceedingly curious to know where you got that.
There's a tiny little bit at the back of her head. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? It is a family heirloom. I've had it for many wolves in their day have had it. I understand.
Tell me, have you ever heard the story of Lancelot?
Ad nauseum, I would say.
Have a good day.
Thank you. And, unsettled, she waits for everyone else to get the hint that she wants to get the fuck out.
I'm gonna walk up to her.
You stand a good 1.5 feet taller than she is.
Doesn't matter.
Yes, Meeks, what can I do for you?
You can give me the truth.
I have been.
All of it. Are we on the same side when it comes to Raleigh? And yes, I say that in front of Raleigh, I don't care.
Raleigh is more than what you give him credit for.
No, you weren't listening. I understand who he is.
I don't think you do. But it won't be long now until you do. Not even Raleigh understands yet.
Are you trying to stop me?
No. I am trying to assist you.
He just turns and walks away.
There are more things at stake here, Meeks, than heaven and hell combined. Seek the jewel, and you will understand more.
Where do we start?
Raleigh, for you, water will always lead you in the right path.
Cool.
Seek the chalice.
Stay away from ocean flaps.
Never again, man. Never again. Spare me once, shame on you. Spare me twice.
I don't think you'll have need or worry of that for much longer.
Yeah, that's not fucking ominous at all. Okay. Cool. I was fine up until right now. So great. This has been great. I'm gonna I'm gonna go. No thanks. No.
We ate before we came.
I had
I
way
made
too many
sure-
Thin Mints.
I made sure of it.
Smart girl. Ingrid, I'm sorry about your phone calls last night. I know they didn't go as the way you wanted them to. You made the right decision.
I will take that with a grain of salt. It is owed. Ingrid, having had enough of this invasive random commentary, offers a polite little half bow and opens the door to leave.
It opens back into the museum.
Have yourself a pleasant day.
I will. Enjoy the museum as long as you like.
Right as we're about to go through the door, I just stop and kind of just turn to look back. Just kind of look around and then leave.
Good to know.
Never know.
Get familiar with it.
Just get yeah, just want to make sure I'm familiar with everything.
just a little.
Bro, we need to get you a cape because you do a lot of those like dramatic like, and then I leave. Whoosh.
Whoosh. I'll ask Russ if I can borrow his.
And Anya.
No,
No, that's a Cody.
Oh, a
Anya,
Cody.
you wouldn't be able to see.
Oh.
Mhm.
That is a Cody dog. Cody is light where Anya is dark, and vice versa, except for in the face.
I will always love the slight vibration of a thump, 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 thump,
Yeah.
thump, thump, thump against a backdrop.
Yep. We are dog sitting currently. And he was very upset on Friday when I had my door shut, so tonight I compromised and left it open for him.
Ingrid holds the sword tight at her side and waits at the door for everyone to leave. Holds it open for everyone politely.
Yeah. Tabitha pauses right before she leaves. I'll let you know soon.
Thank you, dear.
And when everybody leaves, she closes the door. She is also outside the room. She doesn't.
I figured.
She doesn't stay. Okay. I just wanted that clear. I'm not doing any shenanigans.
The door is shut, and once again, the air is filled with the noise of pinball machines and music and ocean waves lapping at the dock of the pier just beyond the door.
I'd like to say I am surprised, but I'm not. That went about exactly how I expected, in terms of what she wished to speak to you about.
Working for her, you mean?
She wanted something, yes.
I mean, information isn't that much, is it? Because I mean,
So-
you were telling the Order or Institute, whatever it was, about like stuff once upon a time, right?
Do we know that Ingrid has left?
No,
Yeah, I don't
nobody
think
does.
so.
She
It
has
just
not.
no, but he knows that like she has said things to the Order.
Yeah. Actually, information is quite often everything.
Especially when it comes to preventing or causing an apocalypse of some kind, or as this seems to be a metaphysical scavenger hunt.
I will say it is. I mean, she's Faye. She can't lie. And she did say she doesn't want to cause any negative effects on fate. But it's still changing the past, and we don't know what'll happen.
Or what else she wishes to change.
Is that
Bringing a
her
girl
fate?
back is different than anything. If she could do anything, who's to say?
Tabitha. One way or another, we're going to get that scythe. Sickle? Is it sickle or
Sickle.
scythe? Sickle. Sorry.
Sickle scythes are very different.
Yeah, I was going to say scythe are big. Wasn't picturing big. One way or another, we're going to get that sickle. This is one way. But it is part of your path.
The sickle or a deal with Queen Maeve?
The items, the artifacts.
And what are you not telling me about Raleigh? She looks over at Raleigh.
I've told you everything about Raleigh. I've told you the truth.
Do you guys know something about me that I don't?
Yes,
What
but I've
is
told
there
you
like-
too, so you do know.
That he
All
is
right.
mortal and in danger. Is that it?
That if he stays here, he's going to die.
Well, I mean, we all got to die at some point.
You die
That's
at the
kind of
end
the-
of this, Raleigh.
Okay.
You don't have to die, Raleigh. You could go home. And you could live.
All right. Hear me out. Hypothetically speaking, I stay. Since you can see the future, evidently, and you know that I'm going to die, do I go out like a badass?
You know he's gonna lie to make you go.
No. Honestly, I don't know what you mean, so never mind. I don't. What do you mean go out like a...
Well, okay. We need to watch Predator.
Mix, does this hypothetical death mean something? Does he accomplish anything with it?
No.
I believe might be what he is saying.
There's no point. There's no purpose. There's no need for it. You just
Then
die.
how do you know that I die? Is that set in stone?
4 elements. The artifacts.
Okay.
Everything else so far has been, yes. And it's
All
my
right.
job to see all of this through.
So are you saying that you're gonna kill me? if you do, I better fucking deserve it. That's all I gotta say. Nobody stabs me in the back unless they're facing me.
Stab me in the back to my face.
Tabitha, how are you feeling hearing that?
Not happy. Meeks, what the hell? Why have you never told me any of this before?
Because
I mean,
you don't
okay,
need to
yes.
know until it's time.
I don't.
My job is not to educate you. My job is to get you there.
By any means necessary.
As I've said.
Cool.
And to remove anyone who stands in the way.
What? Like, okay, you know what? I've seen The Fifth Element. It ends with a happy ending. Like, you know, if Tabby's like, you know, if she is like Lulu Dallas multipass, then, you know, it's going to end up all right.
Can we have one scene that stays serious for 2 seconds?
The ghost that was my soul that hated you earlier, Kyle, has now gone to the netherworld.
Now just a ghost horse. Go. Okay.
It is now ghost horse. Not to really give us a nice whiplash here, Ingrid still has her sword out, and with her bag on her back and her sword firmly at her side, lowered.
In the middle of the arcade? All right.
Yeah, there was no one here.
Oh, that's true.
We were the only people in the arcade at 8 in the fucking morning.
It is empty.
Ingrid just takes a step next to Raleigh, not necessarily next to Tabitha, just and eyes Meeks with a more resignation. She's fighting all of this less and just sort of accepting the lines that are getting drawn.
Okay, since we're all just like, you know, Ingrid literally put her dick on the table back there. We're,
to be fair, I inherited it.
Yeah, so it's Pop Ulfred's old iron dick, but whatever. I left back when I left. Once upon an ancient time ago, back in yesteryear, like I don't even remember how long it was ago. There was a lot of smokiness in between. Anyway, I left because I was freaked out because like I knew that Tabby was like special and she could do things and like throw things around, like she could levitate little dolls and do things like that, and it was like weirding me out and it was too much. Okay, now that I'm back, it's like whatever, man. She's like living up to her fullest potential. Why wouldn't I want that? Why do you think that I stand in your way, sir?
You want her to live up to her potential, then you need to go home.
I don't know that you're the sole arbiter of helping her live up to her full potential, though. She's still a human being. And as you
With
have
a destiny.
and as you have so eloquently put, you are not a mortal man.
But I also have a destiny.
Sure.
Meeks, you've told him what you think he needs to know and he can make his own decision.
You're right. You can.
being said, I don't want any of us to die.
Thank you for the follow.
We need a better audio for that for this show.
So I hope it doesn't happen.
But thank you.
Are we to drop this now, then?
But the one who's pushing it. And I go and walk back over to the little Ferris wheel.
In the saltiest you have ever heard her, Raleigh, Ingrid mutters for you to hear, "Oh, Raleigh, when are you going to leave next? When are you going home? I'm not pushing." She also kind of cuts the air with her sword for a split second in a bit of frustration.
You cut the air with your sword, and a little tiny burst of fire spurts from the tip and cuts through the air and then sucks back inside.
Okay.
Huh.
Okay.
She glances at the blade a little bit.
The Athame was fire. How old is this heirloom sword?
Old.
As old as my family can remember. In fact, I was asked not to bring it because it was probably going to fall apart if I tried to use it for anything functional. But she does a little spinny thing with it. Like, ooh, this is fun.
Was that the one Raleigh was using to cut heirloom tomatoes?
Do you try to focus anything, or are you just flipping it again?
That was more just out of a, that's kind of fun.
Like a flourish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a flamish.
Then she does think about it. Like,
Okay.
Is there an alleyway outside the arcade?
There is a stretch of pier right outside that is up against the bay.
Excuse me for a moment. And she will leave the arcade and go out into that space. If there was like an emergency exit or something, she uses that.
Yeah, there's plenty of space.
So if there's no one around and it's reasonably masked from view, she's going to hold the sword out in front of her and just think about that fire and how that felt.
How do you move the sword? Do you just hold it out? Do you
She's holding it like this, like out in front of her, and then she just slashes really simply in front of her.
As you slash, there is a gout of flame that produces again once more. And it begins to trace a circle on the ground in front of you that stays burning.
Oh, she tries to stamp that out a little.
On raw concrete.
Oh.
There's nothing there that should burn.
She mutters a few words and sort of flourishes her free hand to try to conjure a little bit of cold wind to douse the fire, to see if that does anything.
As you summon magic, the fire grows intently and consumes the wind that you have created.
Ingrid just backs back up into the building.
Cue Homer bushes.
We pretty much. We should probably leave And she starts heading for she puts her sword back into her bag and starts heading for the door.
Okay.
You know, before the firemen get here, we should go.
The
Wait, what?
You look outside and there is a just barely started circle that has since gone back down now that there is no more magic for it to eat. It's starting to die out.
There may have been other reasons why they didn't want me to take the sword.
Interesting.
Cool.
Holy crap. Is
Everything
anyone
is
else
connected.
getting like fucking ridiculous Captain Planet vibes? Like, you've got fire, and she told Meeks to find the jewel, which is earth, and then she told you to find the chalice that's water, and then I have the sickle? Potentially?
And I have heart.
No, you have water.
No, it's literally one of my moves.
Well, Celeste has the heart. It's fine. Ghost heart.
So you guys are actually
Ghost
talking
heart.
about leaving Ghost Heart.
It doesn't beat ghost heart.
So everyone's talking about leaving.
Yeah.
So he looks back at the door that they came through.
Mix, are you coming?
One second. And he goes over the door and he knocks.
One moment. And a few moments later, Meb opens the door for you. Oh, Meeks. I'd like to come in.
What is it that you want to know about them?
I want to know who you found, where you found them, and what they were up to.
What if I just brought you them?
That is a little bit too direct for my taste. But I appreciate the offer.
He just nods. And then he turns and heads back.
Any other questions I can answer for you?
He just keeps walking.
Which water should Raleigh follow?
She looks out towards the bay. You'll feel it calling soon enough. Ingrid, would you be a dear and douse that fire for me, please?
I attempted to, and it got worse.
Magic. There's plenty of water. There's a bucket right over there, and there is a bay right next to it.
Fair enough. Apologies. And Ingrid will go fix the mess she made with some water and
Thank you, dear.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna go over to Raleigh.
We good, man?
Leaky faucets. Niagara Falls.
Okay.
The tide. A babbling brook.
I need to pee really bad. Thanks.
The call of the water. Follow that.
Okay. So
She said that you would be called by water soon.
Not entirely how I meant, Meeks, but prophecies always don't prophecies don't always happen exactly as you see them.
I just keep staring at Raleigh.
well, I mean, Celeste did say that her dad had the chalice, right? So maybe that's our first step, that we go and find it.
Fair. If we do not get a call first from our other stop.
Yes.
Sure.
And he kind of puts his hand on Raleigh's shoulder. Yes, we are.
Excellent. Because I was really like clawing at me, my dude. Like, I have slept in your bed. Like, we have broken bread together. Like,
We have
I have-
broken bed together.
no, no.
Mab is leaning on the door frame, very interested in this conversation, with kind of a little half grin on her face.
We should get going. Once again, sorry for the fire. Have a good day.
Thank you for
Your
your time.
Majesty.
My pleasure, as always.
I do continue talking to Raleigh softly, though.
Ingrid starts pushing them out the door.
I thought we were already outside. Sorry.
Well, she seems to be listening in still. I wasn't sure which door that
Yeah.
Mav was leaving.
Raleigh, when it comes to the end of this, I will do whatever it takes to protect her and to see her fulfill her destiny.
Then you and I are of a mind.
I know. I know
This
that.
mom. This mom.
You heard the words. He has logic, I assume.
Yeah, he did that one on purpose.
Cool.
Ingrid checks her phone. Is there any messages or anything?
There is one message.
Voicemail or text?
Text. It's not a number you recognize, but it does say, "Call me immediately." N.
All right. We made contact.
Are you gonna call her right now, or?
Well, immediately does seem to have a bit of urgency to it. Do you not think?
True.
Sure. I will call. She dials the number.
It rings once. Hello.
Yes, hello. This is Ingrid. Wolf. Yes.
Yes. This is Ninian.
I gathered.
I spoke to Sigrun. It seems that you have been declining to come back in for briefing, but yet still asking for favors. I am curious as to the reason why.
I I'm asking on behalf of my former charge. It would be her invitation is still valid, is it not?
It is still valid, yes.
She would have walked a little bit away as the conversation leaned this direction, but I don't know how much she was hiding. But yeah, I just realized that you guys are there. It seems that there are forces at play that I cannot ignore, regardless of my affiliation. I would think that you would have some leniency on this fact.
I do have leniency. I'm still calling, aren't I?
We just spoke to Mab.
And
And there are multiple players concerned with quite a few things. Uh, Celeste sends her love and regards.
really, I wasn't aware that she... How did you find her?
You know, she was just hanging around. She's not bound as she once was. She seems to miss some people from her life.
I assume she means my brother, and perhaps myself. I miss her as well.
Would Ingrid winces a little bit before she says this. Would that perhaps a reintroduction warrant if another favor or two?
Yes.
Then I imagine that could be arranged.
Excellent.
Is there somewhere that I could meet you?
I will fly out to San Francisco tomorrow.
Celeste mentioned horses. Is that something we could arrange for her?
I'm sure I could come up with something. And I'm sure I can potentially invite my brother down as well.
Mm-hmm. I can speak to her and see if that's agreeable.
I will. Tell me, what did Mab want?
What does any fae want? Lackeys? Favors? She's
No
intrigued
offers or
by the
exchanges?
intriguing. Sorry.
Of course. No offers or exchanges made.
No promises made, no. We made sure not to eat the food.
Well done.
This does not change my decision, just to be clear.
Oh, I understand. Just, if you would be so kind, please let me know If Tabitha manages to... Well, or you, or any of your band, I suppose, manages to wrest that sickle from the clutches of whoever has it. I would be so very interested in seeing it.
Oh, I will keep my eyes peeled.
Thank you.
Well, let me know when you're in town. We'll make a day of it.
I'll be in touch. And then she hangs up.
She hangs up and turns to walk back to the group. I have the distinct impression that we are being fucked from all sides. And Ingrid kind of just shoves her phone back in her pocket.
So that was Ninian.
Yes, she seemed pleasant enough and wishes to see Celeste again, which would be, I suppose, heartening for her. She mentioned bringing her brother. And she also wishes to know what Map wishes to know. And had a very vested interest in knowing if we get the scythe. Sickle. Fuck.
That's
Rings off little, very loud alarm bells in my head, though.
same. Wait. So so Taliesin is her brother,
Apparently so.
and Taliesin is part of Atlantics.
Yes.
There's an N in Atlantics.
That did not escape me. Yes.
So they were sending us after Atlantics, but she's part of Atlantics?
Perhaps they are not all in cahoots with each other.
The right
not
hand
all
does not know what the
cooperative.
left hand is doing.
And I think that is where we're going to end for the evening. Thank you, everybody, for coming out and watching. Thank you to my amazing players for getting into the extra good roleplay. I am sorry there was not a lot of opportunity for people to earn XP tonight, so I'm going to go ahead and say everybody please gain at least 1 XP, because this was a lot of really good roleplay and a lot of really good exposition happened tonight, so I want to make sure you guys are rewarded for that. So
We learned a lot about the world.
you did learn quite a bit about the
And
world today.
we learned something important about one of the hunters.
Mm-hmm.
Who?
Raleigh. He's more involved in the prophecy and all that stuff than we thought.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you meant me about the killing Raleigh thing.
I thought you meant me.
I was gonna say, I think you learned a lot about all of us.
You did.
I think that means I get a super secret bit of intel.
Oh, did
So
that level you up?
That
All right,
leveled
excellent.
me.
I will send you some super secret intel.
Hooray! Swish, swish, and all that.
Spit spot.
Thank you, Sylvanov. Yes, this is Monster of the Week. It has been an ongoing campaign. Usually on Tuesday nights we do Shenanigans, which is Dungeons and Dragons based, but one of our normal players is out of town for work. So when we do not have Shenanigans, we pull together this other little campaign, but it is a lot of fun and very much enjoy it. And tonight was kind of the first real taste of the overarching plot. So we'll see how things go.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
And you can check out our previous episodes on our YouTube channel. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can find that. I don't know if we have a YouTube link. It might just be YouTube. There you go. So yeah, you can find the previous episodes of Taste of Paradise if you want to catch up on the show so far.
We're sort of treating it as continuous one-shots.
I like the phrase short shot.
I don't think
Short
it's going
shot
to be
is
that, though.
No, I think it's a mini campaign, or it's just a campaign, a
It's a
side
campaign.
campaign.
It's a side campaign at this point, just for whoever could make it.
Yep.
And it's so
True.
much fun. Thank you for running things, Tessa.
Oh, I
Yes.
enjoy it immensely.
Hooray.
Roll20 is kind of a pain with the vampire stuff, and I haven't tried it with 5e, but it always was a pain with the older stuff. So yeah.
We use it for In Vain, and it is a little bit tricky.
Tricky,
So
yeah.
I understand your pain on that one. Yeah. But thank you guys. We're gonna go ahead and wrap up, and thank you all for coming.
Are we gonna raid anybody? Cat at goodness.
People.
Maybe not
One
tonight, but
second. Yeah, we'll do it. 1 second.
oh,
I'm
gonna let
do it.
Logan decide that then.
I just gotta go get the information. Let's see here.
But you guys can tune in again tomorrow at noon for Discover RPG,
Yeah.
where Angela and Logan will talk all things tabletop RPGs. Then you can also turn in at noon on Friday for the next episode of Shattered Forge, and then at 7:30 Pacific Standard Time that evening for Ghosts of Saltmarsh Dead Men Tell No Tales.
Dun dun dun, which Tessa also runs.
Woohoo!
Yes. I'm excited
And
for
Heather
what's
is
gonna
here.
happen. And nervous, yes.
And you guys just got your Die Hard Dice coupon code.
We did just get our
except we have
Die
our
Hard
very own one here. So, thank you, Wicked Puller. So if you would like to get some Die Hard Dice for yourself, you can go over to dieharddice.com, use the coupon code GOONIES, GOONIES, which is the normal show that you'll see at this time. Although I think it's almost a split time at this point, at least for the last month or two. So GOONIES will get
Mike's
you
had to be out of
15% off.
town.
Yeah, you get 15% off your first or next order. It works once. So you can take advantage of that. And then if you want to get another set of dice later on, or several sets of dice, because I know how some of you are, you can go to any of the other shows on the Nerdsmith Network. They all have their own coupon codes because Die Hard Dice is just that generous. You will have to listen to the shows. I'm not going to give them to you for free, but you have to listen and find out those coupon codes. And so Tessa's show will have one this weekend. Also, don't forget that we are coming up on... this Friday we have our big World Anvil show, which actually has one of the owners of World Anvil on it. Janet is playing in a world-hopping campaign that has just started. Last week was their first episode. So that comes on Friday at noon PST. And then starting on the 30th, next Monday, I think, we have a huge 60-person... event for over 12 episodes over 4 weeks. So it's every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. Monday and Thursdays at 7 p.m. Pacific, and Saturdays at noon Pacific. It is the 9 Hells of a Good Time Descent into Avernus special event. So Baldur's Gate Descent to Avernus just released from D&D 5e, and we are celebrating that by holding 12 one-shots. That's 12 DMs, 4 players each. That's 48 players, 60 total people. But 59. Evidently, I got raked into playing twice. I don't know how. But 59 people doing a bunch of crazy stuff. And not only are each of these one-shots enjoyable on their own, but the people running the first and last games got together and they are writing an overarching plot for the entire thing. So there'll be Easter eggs in every episode that will kind of affect other things, sort of like an epic, if you ever played an epic at a event. So everything kind of affects everything else, but everything stands alone as well. So you don't have to catch everything, but if you do, you'll get even more entertainment and story than you paid for. But you didn't pay anything, so it's okay.
You can come watch me play my first warlock.
Woo!
I'm still waiting
On
for your
Monday
first
night.
bard.
Technically, I did play one in Tessa's side campaign, a brief
Mhm.
one from ancient time ago, very briefly.
You know,
Yep.
there's a point at
The
the end of
Silk Road.
Producers where Bialystock is talking to the Irish cop, and he's trying to fake being Irish, and his voice just keeps getting higher and higher because he's just lying through his teeth more and more. And that's what you just reminded me of. So we're going to end on that note. Our wonderful keeper tonight and my gorgeous wife, do you have anything else that you would like to say before we end? Oh, I got to figure out who we're rating.
Yeah, we need to figure out who we're rating.
Cat
and
of
just
Goodness
thank
is
you
not
again,
playing
everybody.
D&D, so we're going to go to...
Well, to be fair, neither are we.
That's
Well,
true.
no, they're not playing... They're playing video games. So we're going to try to find somebody that's playing a role-playing game. We're going to go to Behold Roleplay. Nope, wait, they're not doing it right now. Oh, wait, nope, just mature audience. Got it.
Huh?
Yep, that's where we're going to go.
Huh? Oh.
Behold Roleplay. Please come along if you can.
What's our raid cry?
Swish, swish, burn.
Swish, swish, burn. I like it. Thank you,
It's gonna be
everybody.
like
So
12
please come
seconds,
along
so.
with us. And we really, really appreciate you guys for tuning in and sticking with us. I know I went a little over tonight, but that's because I got so caught up in the role play, I forgot what time it was.
This is the
So,
smallest amount
sorry
of going
about
over that
that.
we normally do.
This is true.
Congratulations.
And it
Thank
was
you
only
guys
thanks to
very,
Logan that I
very much.
realized we went over.
And I'll do our end stuff there. So all that should pop up. That's all of our places where you can find us and go and see
Yes.
our dude stuff. Discord is a fun place. Come on by. Swish, swish, burn. We'll do the raid here in 3, 2, 1. Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.